There you go. Got a red light.
Yeah.
That's who needs to do it, because I don't, just look at it.
Red light's on. Monitor.
TV switch here sometime.
On one side it says monitor, I think.
Oh, yeah, 1 year. Like that. 1 year.
Yeah. Good.
Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please, and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. Me. Huh? Shut this off.
Yeah. Should be all week. Now we can put my stylus today.
All right. Can't see. Teacher probationary contracts. Bill, fill us in, please.
Okay. Under the law, teachers going from the first year to the second year to third year, and third year are all probationary 1 year. At the third to fourth year contract period, they become continuing contract teachers, and in reality it's a 2-year assignment. That's why it's called continuing, done every other year, 2 years at a time. So at this point in time, I'd recommend the following teachers for their second year of their probationary contract. That would be Casey Croman, Natalie Engoff, and Darcy Gillespie. Motion, second.
All right, do we need a motion? We do need a motion.
Yes.
Do we have a motion to accept the teacher probationary contracts as listed? All right, I move that we accept the, for lack of a better term, nominations for teacher probationary contracts as outlined, as listed. Is there a second? This a second will only get us under discussion, people.
I second it.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded to accept the teacher probationary contracts as recommended, as listed. Any discussion?
I had emailed Bill earlier today about one of the teachers on here about possibly doing an extended 1 year due to the medical issues. I don't understand how it would automatically go to a second-year contract if she did not fulfill first year and have an eval.
Yeah. First of all, as I explained earlier, they signed for a 1-year contract. She completed her 1 year of service, even though she has been on leave under a disability call. And because there is nothing in the contract that says a teacher must work X number of days in order to move to the next step, and because she is legally really still employed, has been employed for the year, she would move to year 2 of her contract.
Okay. So my next question is, I understand that. My next question is, I'm more concerned about legality of us coming back on us if we give her a second-year contract with the Department of Ed or anything like that?
No, there's no room for him to come back. She had a
Okay.
one-year contract. She will complete that one-year contract even though she's out on leave at this point in time,
Okay,
and be prepared to come back for the second year. She will not be able to apply for the Family Medical Leave Act because she did not have 1,250 work hours in the previous year.
okay,
However, under Maine state law, she could still get 12 weeks of pregnancy leave without pay
okay,
or without benefits.
okay. All right, so I guess my next question is this. And I don't know if you can actually tell us, if we grant the second-year contract, at this time, is she planning on returning? I guess my understanding is I don't want to be, come mid-August, and for some reason we have to re-advertise or advertise and get someone in there in the last few weeks before school starts.
I haven't heard anything differently.
Okay,
It's my understanding that she will be here the coming school year.
okay.
That's my understanding as well.
That was just my,
And Bill, any person coming back on their second and third year are still probationary, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay,
Both and all of these people are probationary.
yeah. Any other discussions? All right, all in favor of renewing or accepting the teacher probationary contracts as listed, raise their hand in favor.
See?
All those opposed?
No?
Okay.
One abstention? Okay, just for the record.
All right, item number 4.
Okay, the following teachers are also on probationary contracts for their third and final probationary year. That would be Dylan Serois, James Lemke, and Rita Lally, and I would nominate those individuals for their third probationary one-year contract.
Is there a motion to accept the teacher continuing contracts as listed?
No, probationary.
Probation.
Oh, that's probationary also?
Probationary also, there was a little error and there was a
Oops, sorry about
rewritten
that.
done.
Sorry. I retract that motion.
I make a motion that we accept the teacher probation contracts, third year, Joan Soroy, James Lenke, and Rita Lally.
second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept the teacher probationary contracts for third year. Dylan Serois, James Lenke, and Rita Lally. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor? All opposed? 0. All right. 2016-17 budget.
I should I come back with what I think is a plan for where we're hopefully headed and try to sit with Chrissy and gather some costs and what impacts might be, and just need a little direction so that we can get that part of the budget done. While I'm doing this, it'll be noted in the news today, if you caught the late afternoon supper news, you'll note that the legislature is in the process of adding $15 million to GPA and expected a vote very, very soon, along with taking care of the tax issues that seem to be out there as well. So that will adjust our state revenue and probably decrease the local because it'll go on to the mill rate side of it. So that'll be a plus. I have no idea at this point in time what that dollar amount may be, but I suspect it'll be probably in the neighborhood of $20,000 in additional state revenue. Okay, so staffing-wise, going back in time and doing some research, I found that the previous times we had a full-time teacher for Title I and 2 full-time ed techs. All of those can be funded in total with a small amount of dollars remaining through Title I without any changes, and it'll leave enough for materials, supplies, and those kinds of things. It is obvious that our special ed has some needs, and we've talked about that, and we actually have it in the budget to provide a full-time teacher and 2 ed tech 3s. Remember, the additional cost, about $1,800 to make that 2 to 3. Then I question the next one, and I'm not sure what we're going to provide with replacement of Jane, whether it be principal GT or principal something else, but we need to advertise at that point. But if a present teacher were to become principal and be replaced with a new staff, I would estimate a savings of about $20,000. It's just kind of transferring that particular salary as we pay it now compared to a new probationary teacher coming in. And if the new teacher happened to have some special ed background and could do the paperwork or provide GT, depending on which way we wanted to go, we would have that, whatever that salary is for the principal, less the $20,000 that we just saved in replacing a special ed teacher, if that were the case. And if they were in GT, we would take $15,000 from GT's salary, which is already in the budget, and the district would end up covering any other cost over that, would save about $7,000. And if we looked at a part-time art, serving the elementary and high school, we probably end up with a total additional cost of about $10,000. So that provides all of the program without reducing and actually meeting the needs of our students and of the school. It's just, we need to advertise. I can't guarantee that we will end up with the right combination of principal/teacher. It all depends on what their abilities might be or what their certifications might be.
With the Title I,
Mhm.
with the full-time teacher and the full-time ed techs, or ed tech 3,
2 ed tech 3s.
2 of them, right?
Right.
Okay.
So that will bring up the total to 3 in that room?
Correct.
Okay, and special ed,
Would be 3.
What, 3 in
Like
Title
3?
I?
Would be
No.
3.
that's what he said,
Yes.
Where's the third one?
2 ed tech 3s.
yeah.
1 full-time and 2 ed tech 3s.
Yeah, it just
Title
said
I,
add
full-time teacher,
full-time,
add
he didn't have a
full-time.
number.
I didn't have a number.
There's no ed
I had
techs
to
in there
add
now?
the full tech side. You've got 1 already. Ed tech.
No. Marcia's a full-time teacher.
Yeah.
I'm a half-time teacher. There are no ed techs in Title I.
No, well, I'm talking about 2 ed techs. 2 ed techs. Adding an ed tech.
So that would give us 3 in there.
Correct.
So in special ed, you're having 3 people in there?
Would it be a teacher and 2 ed techs? Yes.
Okay, I'm a little confused because last week we talked about a half art, half gifted and talented.
Yeah, I tried to put together all kinds of alternatives last week, and the issue I've got is that when you go to hire and we advertise and we interview, I can't guarantee, I mean, we can look for a specific combination, but I can't guarantee that we will find that specific combination. So to try to get some kind of a where I'm going to be budget-wise, so I get the numbers in the right places,
Okay,
trying to lay out a scenario that I think would work and meet what we've kind of brought up for needs. Now, if I'm wrong, that's fine. You can go whichever direction you want. That's your prerogative. I just tried to help you.
Yeah, with these 6 people, how many of them would be new?
In reality, you'd have a new, if a present person took a principalship, you'd have a new person there replacing them. And, or if you didn't, if you had a new principal, you'd have a new person in that position. So there's 1. And then you're going to have an ed tech 3 in GT. I mean in Title I. Thank you.
so actually nothing in special ed changed then?
Well, you got a teacher.
Because
and
don't you
teacher.
have a full-time teacher and 2 ed techs in there now?
But
Correct.
they're only ed tech 2s.
But they're only ed tech
You
2.
changed it into a nec, well, okay.
One's
Right.
a temporary.
Okay.
And 1's temporary, correct. But we budgeted for that temporary position.
Okay, so my understanding, because I wrote this down,
Yep.
asked a lot of questions,
That's okay.
that we were going to take a person already in the building,
Possibly, yes.
possibly, and do half art and half gifted and talented.
That was an option, yes.
Okay, that was an option. The other option was having technology
Correct?
And having that teacher coming from the classroom, giving us technology and halftime, Title I, what happened to that?
I sort of traded that out, trying to find the best solution for what I've heard the needs were, and it sort of left technology out there. But again, until I find out who that principal might be and what their background might be, I sort of have to have some flexibility as we move forward. But for budgeting purposes, raw numbers, we'll fill the positions as we go, but I need to have some kind of idea of where we're going to go with the budget so I can put it in.
Well, the whole idea of what we asked for last week, last Tuesday, as a matter of fact, the only thing that's different is you've added 2 full-time Ed Tech 3s into Title I.
Correct. Well, added 1 Ed Tech 3, not 2. There's 1 there now.
No, there's nobody, it's,
Right, there's a
Teacher.
full-time
There's a
teacher
half-time
and a
teacher.
half-time teacher.
Right.
yeah,
Right now.
Okay, yes.
okay.
But this would cover all of our needs for Title I students and our special ed students.
Correct,
With-
and that's where
with
I was
3 and
going.
3.
That's where I was going, and trying to maintain the opportunity for art if I could. That art could become technology, it could become anything. It's all direct, but I'm worried about what's that number look like. Whether it's art or technology, it's not going to make a financial change. It'll make a position change.
Here's something new.
Okay?
Um,
I'm
We
open.
would like to have a technology person.
Okay.
I believe that was a need that the elementary school was asking for.
What about, instead of a full-time principal, we had an assistant to the principal technology person in that elementary school?
Okay.
Would that be a combination that we could use?
It sure could. It would be a position. Part of it covered already because of the assistant and whatever the additional cost for that particular person to cover the technology. Just looking to see if I can make any other changes in here.
May I ask a question?
Sure.
Gwen, for clarification. Assistant to the principal, if there is no principal there, to whom is this person an assistant?
Would be the high school principal. She would be holding down the fort at the elementary school. It's just a suggestion.
Oh, okay. Now, I didn't follow that at first. I was
And you'd only
thinking
have a
of-
part-time assistant principal?
Assistant to the principal, yes. Well, they would be doing technology as well. Or, I just thought we needed technology.
So you want, understand that principal would run both schools
With a part-time assistant?
with a part-time assistant principal?
Would that assistant to the principal be required to serve at the high school as well?
In technology? Probably not.
Or you
Would
mean the
that be
principal
elementary
part?
tech?
Principal.
Okay. She means the assistant principal part.
I'm disappointed.
No. She'd be solely at the
You have to
elementary
tell me
school.
what you need and what you want. I'm just trying to give you
I did.
an option.
One principal.
Trying to put it out there so you can make a decision and up, down, in, out, whichever.
Go ahead, Elaine.
Okay. Here's what I've been thinking about.
Excuse me, Amy, could I ask that everybody speak up? We cannot hear what's being said.
You can ask.
Please.
All right. But everyone who is speaking by them, speaking, have the floor. Try to elevate their voice so that everyone can hear, please.
Okay, Elaine, go.
I've been thinking of a principal in combination doing gifted and talented.
Okay. I had that at one point, yes?
That the present Ed Tech position that we have that is Ed Tech 2 be, if we have to re-advertise as an Ed Tech 3, we should do that.
Okay,
This gives this person more independence,
I agree,
okay?
and I've got that.
I think that what was left of Jane's Title I, we should keep the Title I and combine that, but Title I should be 3/4 time, not 1/2, and technology, 1/4.
Okay,
So that means if we take a person out of special ed to do an administrative job, we'd have to advertise for special ed.
correct.
And if we take a person out of
Anyplace else?
any place else to do technology in the Title I, we would need to replace that particular grade.
Yes, absolutely.
And that would mean advertising for those two spots.
And what we do is advertise for those 2 spots first.
Yeah.
Look at our applications, choose a point, and then if that created another opening, because somebody within moved, we'd have to, again, go back out to fill whatever slots became vacant again. So there's a,
Right.
okay,
And the only thing else that I would consider adding, if we really needed it, would be another Ed Tech 3. I'm not looking to create new positions, but if we need it, this is where I want the attention on those kids who need to learn to read in the early years and get that background that they need and that support.
Elaine, may I ask you a question?
Yes.
Last year, at last meeting, it was suggested that we get an ed tech for the current 3rd grade. Is that still on the table?
I think that one of these ed tech positions would rotate in. I don't think someone would, I could be wrong, because I haven't seen the grade and I haven't talked to teachers, but from what I believe, that person wouldn't need to be there 24/7, but we could use this ed tech where as needed. And I could be wrong, but like I said, I don't really want to create a whole lot of new positions. But I know that class is large.
It is large, and it certainly would be beneficial for an ed tech to be there for those core content areas, i.e. math, reading. And then perhaps split her with special ed, or him.
thank you.
Tom?
I may be totally ignorant, but as I listen to this, I haven't heard the word supervise, coach, review, sit in on, listen to, watch teachers teach, which is what I thought principals did a lot of their time. How are they going to do that if they're parsed so small into such small pieces spread all over the place? I haven't heard a word about making sure the quality of the teaching that's going on is up to scratch, up to par, up to whatever. We're taking so many, we're making the principal do so many things. But
Well,
I haven't
for one
heard
thing-
anything about the
No,
things
no.
principals should be doing.
Can I say something?
Sure.
Well, first of all, the principal went to halftime last year, and with last year's board. We're just trying to figure out what we're going to do to make sure that our principal in our building is going to be able to do that.
Well, I understand that. I know that the principal for the elementary school went to halftime last year.
Right.
The question I'm raising is, was that a good idea?
No, it
And
wasn't.
should we be making it?
Absolutely not.
Should we be dividing it even further?
Well, the problem is that this board is trying to fix these positions that were taken out of the budget last year and the year before that and the year before that.
Okay.
And it's not going to be easy because you still have to stay within a certain amount of money. So if it was up to me, I'd pay more taxes to get a full-time principal in the elementary school because it's needed, but it's not up to me.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because that was really where I was going.
Yeah, I mean,
And
the bottom...
I think we're getting a little bit chintzy
The-
at the cost of good education.
You know, I was just saying that the other day, because in Bangor, I was up there for the weekend, I was talking to a lady, having breakfast. Anyway, and the point was, the problem is that everybody looks at the bottom dollar now instead of the education of our children. And that's where not just Baileyville needs to look at, the whole United States. And every time you turn around, we're cutting and we're cutting and we're cutting, and that is why Woodland is in the predicament they are this year with special ed and Title I. Because Title I has got cut for the last 3 to 4 years. And all we did was not educate our kids. And so I am going to vote for everything I can to get back into elementary school.
I
Elaine?
just want to say thank you.
You're welcome.
Mrs. Smith, what percentage of time does gifted and talented take through the day?
Gifted and talented, we work with grades 4, 5, and 6. There are 1, 2, 3, probably about 3.5 hours.
That's for the week.
That's for the week, twice a week. Am I? You know what? I don't know the answer to that question, but I will get it to you. I think she serves them twice a week,
Okay.
So about
but I will definitely get you
7
an
hours
answer
a
to
week.
that.
So if we combine a principal job with gifted and talented, then
If we're looking at the bottom
If we're
line
looking
and
at
thinking about
4 hours a week for that?
the cost factor, I would rather see the principal be part-time GT. When the principal leaves the building, you are leaving 10, 12 kids rather than my 20 or 25 that I work with every day.
Yeah. And that's what I suggested, principal, part-time GT.
And it's $20,000 for the GT part of it, not
Yeah,
GT.
I know what it is, but I was trying to leave
Okay.
some part there for
Right.
whatever the other needs were.
And it still
I've
increases.
underestimated for obvious reasons.
Okay, thank you.
And it would increase over what you had for a position this year, being the principal in Title I. So principal and GT is the better choice for us educationally.
Yeah, and that's why I
the
was-
And that's what I
direction,
suggested.
Yeah, I got you,
Yeah.
and I've got that process laid out.
So technically, you'd have a principal
So,
4/5 of the time and 1/5 for GT.
correct,
Yes, okay.
approximately 80/20.
Okay.
Ed Tech 2 to Ed Tech 3 would be, I would budgeted for. Title I, TAC, 75/25.
Yes.
Ed Tech 3 is needed. And we do need it, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it in.
Yeah.
Okay? I'll have those in the budget and totaled out for you, and hopefully we'll hear from the legislature this next day or two and know exactly what our other end of the spectrum, income-wise, may change. At least have a ballpark. And I think you're gonna be pretty close.
Now what about art?
I still got it in at this point. I questioned.
You still have
No, I
art?
had taken it out. I'd have to put it back in. I had taken it out, the part-time art. Do need a decision on that.
Combined with what?
Technology?
I thought we were going to do Title I and
Title I
technology.
and technology is what I've got.
But it doesn't say that on here. It
No,
says,
no,
No.
no.
We just
No,
discussed
we
it.
just discussed that. That
Something we
was
just discussed.
just discussed.
3/4, 1/4.
If we did the art technology, we do have a person already that is excellent in both of those areas. And where would that leave Title I? We'd have to.
Couldn't Title I use a full-time ed tech? I mean, I heard an awful lot of need here last week.
There's
about what
47
Title I
students,
needs,
47 students.
in Title I, he has 1 full-time teacher and 2 full-time ed tech 3s.
That's where I was headed, but we didn't
And
do
then
that.
you,
We changed that.
If we had a full-time teacher and a full-time ed tech 3 that was there, both of those people there all day long, help me, Marcia, here. that certainly would help our Title I program. But that Ed Tech 3 has to be the right person as well. A person that has some knowledge in literacy and some knowledge in math.
You'd really have to advertise that position with
Oh,
a
absolutely.
literacy background.
Yes. That's the only way you could advertise it.
And then Ed Tech 3s have that one.
And put art with technology.
And the other half in Title I.
What was that again? I missed it. I'm sorry.
Art with technology and the other half in Title I.
Art with technology and another half in Title I, she could never do it.
No, she could do it, you could do it.
Because she has to work at the junior high.
Yeah.
And if we take that away from junior high, then we are putting those kids in jeopardy as far as education goes.
Okay, let me recap what I just heard, it would look like, so you start a second list. Somebody's gonna keep track of this ball game for me, I hope. Okay, I have, at this point, what I just heard, principal/GT. We know we're gonna change that to 3 in special ed. I now have we have a Title I full-time teacher, and we're gonna look for an Ed Tech 3 full-time with a literacy background. We will look at an Ed Tech 3 to go into the core classes for grade 3 in building 1. And
Is
do
that
the
an Ed
GT
Tech 3?
Yes,
It's an Ed Tech 3.
and do the GT art combination.
What?
What?
No, the
GT.
principal with GT.
A principal GT.
Principal has GT.
Art technology, excuse me, art technology. I
Now-
had it written, but I was looking at another line.
And can you give me special ed?
And special ed would be the special ed teacher into Ed Tech 3s.
The Ed Tech 3 that we are looking for the current grade 3, we had mentioned half-time
Right,
Ed Tech and half-time in special ed.
right, yes.
So you still want another?
No, that's what it would be. You got it, yes. I got it down here, but I don't have it up there.
So are you actually cutting a half of special ed Tech?
No,
So you're gonna have 3 Ed Tech 3s.
I'm going to have
2.5.
2.5 Ed Tech 3s.
Nobody's gonna work a half day for an Ed Tech 3.
No, the other.
No, the other half, they're gonna be in
is in grade
3.
So you're gonna have
3.
2.5 Ed Techs in special ed?
1 teacher and 2.5 Ed Techs.
I'd say either keep them in grade 3 with that class, or
I think there's a
I
need for
think that's
full-time
too
in
much.
grade 3.
There is
Yeah,
a need
me
for a
too.
full-time in grade 3.
I mean, we've heard that all the way down the road here.
because that Ed Tech 3 can go with them to specials. They can go to gym, they can rotate into duties, any special. You can't expect the gym teacher to take 20, how many are there?
8.
Yeah, so, yes, that Ed Tech should be with them, in my opinion, full-time.
Take that off, got that. Okay. Principal GT. That 2 goes to a 3 special ed. Title 1 is going to be
Title I Ed Tech 3.
1 teacher,
in an Ed Tech 3.
right,
Ed Tech 3 for grade 3.
and then I have 1 teacher and 2 Ed Tech 3 for special ed.
Correct. And GTR. GT technology, excuse me.
Art and
Art
technology.
Art technology.
And principal and
GT's with
gifted and
principal.
talented.
I got it backwards here. Yep, got it. I
And
think
Ed
we got
Tech
them.
3 for grade 3.
Yeah, got that already.
Mhm.
GT.
that would be three-quarter principal.
Yep, well, 80, 80,
What did I
20.
say?
80/20.
80/20,
For this.
okay. Art technology.
What is the desire of the board when we're looking at the art slash technology? Do we move a teacher that has these qualities and then advertise for a teacher for the classroom from which she would be transferred? Or do you want to advertise for an art technology teacher?
My feeling is you need to do in-house first. And if you have someone that is qualified in any of these, technically, they come first. And then if you don't have someone in-house, then the superintendent will, right, will advertise. But it has to go in-house first.
Right, I understand that, Becky, but once it's advertised in-house, if that particular teacher, whom I think is great in those two areas, doesn't put her name in,
And she doesn't have to.
Yeah, no, we're not
You
forcing
can't,
anyone.
can't force them.
Well, we can reassign.
Yeah.
reassign,
Yeah.
yes. That's the term I'm looking
That's
for.
where the question is actually coming from. We may
Right.
reassign a present employee who is certified in those areas.
Well,
But the question arises that if that person doesn't want to do it, then really,
Well, they
They
put
shouldn't be
100%
doing it.
into it.
Or we might be advertising for 2 vacancies.
I mean,
It could happen.
A problem could arise because we did not get a person who was certified that applied last year.
Right.
No, we did not.
And we do have a person certified on staff.
Yes,
So
we do.
it's-
He has
it's
a master's
decision.
in technology.
So it's
My,
legitimate.
No, I think if, not to speak at a thing, I would have a conversation with that staff.
thumb screws.
Yeah, well, you work for the district, you don't work for yourself. And I'm an independent contractor.
my feeling is that if this particular person, if this position of art and technology was ever in the position of being, hopefully, never again, on the chopping block, as you want to say, then she would be able to go back into the classroom.
Wishing the
Right.
seniority, yes.
Yes, the
Because
seniority,
she,
absolutely.
so, you know, it's really up to this person, but I think that you should really,
Let me have a conversation
mean-
with that person with the board's
Yeah.
permission.
yeah, oh, God, yes.
Okay, and I'll put that plan into numbers for you, have it ready to go. And like I said, I think they'll be relatively close and happy with the end result. Just a little bit more than I planned, but I don't think it'll be significantly more. Okay. Now, I did invite Mr. Layton to be with us tonight to see if you had any questions about buses. And I do want to share one little part. In our application process, we applied for a bus. Unfortunately, the newest bus that the state replaced in this first round was 16 years old. And ours is not 16 years old, nor is it close. But we do have a bus that is obviously in some significant needs of repairs, and we're uncertain as to how large that could be. We're hoping it's not, but it's off the road right now. One of the issues that's come up a couple of times and became a small issue for us for a period of time is the fact that we have a handicapped bus. We do not have a replacement at any time that bus breaks down, and we do have a wheelchair-bound student who needs a handicapped bus. Under the guidelines that the state has set out for an automatic bus replacement, I can apply for a spare handicapped bus to protect the district so we can continue to transport that child. And I can get it in a smaller size, so cost-wise, it'll fall even because it'll be handicapped within the same range as a large bus without it. I'm ready to make that application and see if it'll be approved. I do have those dollars already in the budget. I never took them out because I wasn't sure what the second round might look like. But talking with Pat Hinckley, who's the head of it, the guy said, we won't make the second round nor the third round unless a whole lot of people decide not to buy the buses. The list is pretty long. But I can get a replacement. It would probably be a Cummins diesel rather than a Mercedes, which has been an issue not only in this area but across the state with a number of them for some reason. It'd probably be a 6-cylinder Cummins and a 42-passenger bus. Now, 42 is not 42, it's 30 once I add the lift and take the seats out, which would be usable for some other things. And in the case of where the lift goes, they can put in rails and we can actually put in and take out 3 sets of seats or 9 seating areas. We give it back to 42 or close to it. So that's what I propose. If you would like me to make that application, I'm going to let Sherman talk here in a second. I'm not trying to take all his fire away, but I got that cleared up today because it's an issue. Sherman, you want to talk about buses for a minute? And you might want to talk about where we are with inspection too.
We've applied for a state inspection license for the school and it was accepted. I'm a certified state inspector for school buses and other vehicles too. So we no longer have to send our vehicles out and wait for them to be inspected. It'll be done right here in-house. Bus 2 is the one that's in question. We had to take it off the road. The side panels, 4 cross members have brought it out beyond useful use by the state guidelines. Just for them repairs alone, before we even open the sides up, and we could be opening a big can of worms when we take the side panels off these buses because they rot from the bottom out. Even when they do rot out. It's around $1,500 just for parts. You do that, you've maybe saved yourself a year, 2. We'll be back at somewhere on this bus again, or back into another one. The handicap bus we've had problems with this winter. We've been very lucky with the parents that has helped us out with that on a couple of occasions. Get their child to school. We really do need a second handicap bus.
If the school purchased a new bus, in the one that we have now, how many years do you think we could get out of it as a spare?
If we fix this one, or the handicap bus itself,
Yeah,
we should be able to get 3 to 5 more years out of that bus.
yeah. But you'd only use it just in
I-
emergency situations, or?
Emergency situations around town,
Yeah.
and maybe a local school run to Callis or something. The problem with your school buses is you run them in the worst time of the year. There is no place in Washington County to clean them thoroughly. It's underneath. They rot out from the bottom up. Wiring harnesses are huge problems with these buses. The wiring is soft, and the calcium just goes right through the plastic coating and just rots them right off.
So can we assume that in 3 to 5 years we'll be having to purchase an additional
That should
bus?
be your next bus to be replaced anyway, in an order of sequence.
Even if we get the new one that you're asking for now, in
In
3 to 5 years, we're going to be looking at buying another one?
Once we take the O2 bus out of service, which we have, that is your oldest bus, is the handicap bus you're using right now.
Think we could climb up the list in 2 to 5 years?
If we only have, at that point, we're actually replacing the handicap bus. That's a guarantee. It's under a separate set of regulations, and that's a guarantee versus having to be on a list, a long list for the regular
For the
bus.
full-size bus?
Right. It could be either. You could go in either direction, but you get a permission for replacement.
So, Jerem, what's your estimation of having to purchase a full-length bus, just a regular passenger bus? When do you see that coming?
That would be your next bus in line, which is an '06. And they want us to work around 15 years.
15
So
years.
9 years?
9 years.
9 years, okay.
Good luck.
Now, Bill, you had mentioned getting a smaller size handicap. Why would you go with a smaller size?
I think it'd be more versatile for some of the other things that we do.
But if we had a bus break down, we still have to transport.
I think we'd be
the
all right
current
by
kids.
shifting things around with what the loads are on the buses. If I had 42 seats, I could make it work. And that means putting rails in so I can slide seats in the place of where the handicap chair would go. And they're just slide in and lock in.
Is that 42 with the handicap or
That's
without?
42 without the
Without.
handicap.
It's 30 with
It's 30 width.
30 with, so, okay.
Yeah, because you've got the gate that comes up, and then you got the other side they have to roll to be locked in, and it takes out those seats. And then you just simply close that gate, and it has rails on the bottom, and you just slide those seats into the rails.
So, you're looking for approval to purchase this bus?
Approval to apply, and I'm guessing we'll get approved, and I've got the money in the budget for the purchase. I never took it out. We had applied for a bus, we didn't get it, a replacement. But under this, by bending the corner just a little bit and looking at it for a secondary handicap bus, I can get approval for a bus.
And what would we do with the bus that might need?
We
To
would
be-
probably take a look at it, see if we could get it on the road for a small amount of money. If we couldn't, we'd look at getting
Camper.
rid of it.
Yep.
Selling it for a camper.
Yeah. Put me on the list.
Convertible.
Correct. I mean, if we could fix it for 1,500 in parts and some labor over the summer when we've got time to work on it, I'd suggest that we do that. If we get inside of it and it is going up inside, there's no repair for it at that point in time. It's time to sell and crush.
And we would take them panels off before we got it in the parts.
Yeah, we would take the most careful course of action before we spend money. Make sure what we need before we spend. These rub rails, panels, side panels, and the cross members right now, and we want to make sure that's all it needs before we get in too far.
You can stand inside the bus, and, well, we've got poking at it. You can, where the wheel wells are, you can look out through the tires.
Oh, good.
We need it.
Air conditioning.
Air conditioning, yeah.
So with that, if we purchase this handicap bus, or we get the handicap bus, and we lose the other bus, is that going to still put us in a bind for the bus routes? Or
No,
do you think we'll
we've
be able to
managed-
cover them?
We've managed to cover the bus routes even this year.
Without that bus, having had it taken off the road.
Okay.
We'd use it for some sports runs where there were large amount of team members go.
I think we need to purchase a bus, a handicap bus.
Everyone in agreement with that? 2 thumbs up.
That's all I need.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Sherman.
Okay.
All right, at this time, the school committee is going to enter into executive session under Title I, 405-6A. Thank you all for showing up.
And it
Yep, we're going to take about a 5-minute break here.
It is 7:20. And when you come out, I'll be around, just yell at me so I can get these printed out and everything. Okay.
In special ed, I have 1 teacher
Right.
and 2 ed tech
It's not so
threes,
blank, is it?
is what they're gonna have for next year.
It's on.
It's on.
It's on.
So one,
So we're adding an ed tech 3 position.
right. But it's not gonna change the money, I guess, or a little $1,800.
Okay, we have come out of executive session at 7:32 PM.
Title I will have
Um,
1 teacher
Hey, folks,
and 1 ed tech.
I gotta go.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. We're out of executive session at 7:32.
You gotta wait for Bill, or?
I don't know where he is.
Oh. I'll make a motion that we pursue legal counsel.
Okay, there's a motion that we pursue legal counsel. Is there a not to exceed number as far as amount? Or are we gonna, if we decide to go, we go the whole way?
Well, I was under the impression we were just getting counsel to ask questions.
Okay, all right, we won't send them out then. Okay, it's been moved that we retain legal counsel. Is there a second?
Second it.
Okay, moved. Shit. It's been moved by Elaine, seconded by Becky to seek legal counsel, retain legal counsel. Any discussions? All
Just
right,
questions.
All those in favor? All those opposed? Okay.
Can we
Forward.
hold this?
Yeah.
Want me to go look for it?
Oh, fine.
He said he's not here yet.
Vote of one approved. All right. As soon as we get Bill back here and to acknowledge our
He's coming
action.
down the hall.
What is he?
He's coming down the hall
Oh, okay.
right now, so I don't want to say we couldn't do this.
No, we can. It's not a good idea, but we can do things without him in public session.
Meeting with a custodian to make a
Yeah.
time change.
Bill, we came out of executive session
Yeah.
at 7:32,
Thank you.
and there was a motion made by Elaine. Is it Elaine or Elaine?
Elaine.
I should know. Elaine, to retain legal counsel, and it was seconded by Becky. And after discussion, it is a 4-to-1 approved vote.
Seconded Becky. And do you want me to,
You and I will sit down sometime soon, though, whenever.
I'll be back tomorrow afternoon. I'll get a superintendent's meeting in Chinese in the morning. I'll come back. I was going to stay for a workshop then, but I won't because I've got other stuff on my desk. It's pending as well.
Yeah?
And I'll come back and we can do it tomorrow afternoon if you're free.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll make an appointment. Oh, you call me when you get back in town.
Be about 1:30, probably 1:30.
Okay.
Good enough.
Next meeting, next week?
15th.
15th,
5:30.
5:30.
Are we
And,
meeting ahead of time for
Are we gonna do budget?
Should.
I don't have it on my things.
I'll
as
put
a
it on,
budget.
I'll put it
I
on the
do on
regular
mine,
agenda. We'll just meet
Okay.
at the regular time. I'll put it on the regular agenda. We don't have a whole lot for that agenda at this point.
Okay.
All right.
So the regular
So,
time is 6:30.
Motion to adjourn?
Regular time's 5:30, isn't it?
5:30.
5:30.
Thank you.
Yeah, I move that we adjourn.
Second?
Any discussion?
Andy,
All in favor?
Elaine,
I'm out of here.
4-zip.
So I go home and eat now.
Me too. I got it out. It's the frosting.
A Frosty?
The frosting.
Oh.
I should have a frosting.
I'm having a Frosty.
Yeah, there was a motion by Elaine and a
We've
second by
got,
Becky to retain legal
Principal,
counsel.
GP.
At the
To
next
ask
meeting?
questions,
In between.
to ask questions.
Yeah. Oh,